Hello Flosstube, welcome back to Bumble Stitches. My name's Nicola and this is my Flosstube video where I share my cross stitching, quilting and any other crafts that I happen to be up to at the time. Today is Sunday the 11th of April and as you can see it's a beautiful sunny day, quite warm here in the conservatory where I do most of my filming, and yes, it's a bit chilly still but beautiful and sunny, and that's the main thing. We did get a little tiny bit of snow at the beginning of last week, just after Easter, sort of on Easter Monday. So the weather's been a little bit unpredictable, to say the least. I hope you've all kept well and since my last video, and thank you all for your lovely comments and emails and all the interaction that you guys give me. It's lovely to see what you're all up to, and thank you to all the new subscribers that I've had recently. We're now up to over 7,000 subscribers, which, and I know I say every time I hit a milestone how amazed I am, but I genuinely am amazed that more and more of you keep finding my channel and my videos and taking the time to subscribe. So a special warm welcome to you all, and of course thank you to all of you regular viewers that come back time after time to share some stitchy time with me. I will be doing a giveaway for the 7,000 subscriber milestone, but it kind of took me by surprise, so I don't have anything ready, so look out for that on the next episode and we'll do a nice little subscriber giveaway on that video. So I would like to thank you all that are participating in the Pocketful of Posies Stitch Along that I'm running at the moment. It started on the 1st of April and so many of you have been joining in and mentioning it on your Instagram accounts. I've had some emails from some of you and people mention it on their Flosstube, so it's going really well, and I'm just very excited by the prospect of all these beautiful flowery stitchy projects that we're all up to. I have prepared a short video, it's about 2.5 minutes long, with a gallery of some of the images from Instagram that are posted with the hashtag Pocketful of Posies SAL, and also a couple of emails that I receive from people that don't use Instagram. So I'll pop that right at the very end of this video, after the quilty section, right at the very end. So if you stay to the very end, you can have a look at all those beautiful stitchy projects with all our lovely flowery Pocketful of Posies projects. So let me get on with some works in progress. I've got some notes today. I have actually done notes because I do tend to get a little bit sidetracked otherwise, but I'll start with works in progress, and it's the good old Anniversaries of the Heart, which I keep in this bag here. Once again, this is just made by me from Rifle Paper Company fabric. And Anniversaries of the Heart I am currently stitching on, it's design 3. Yeah, it is design 3. So this is technically the March block, A Wish for You. But it's actually the 4th one because the bonus block sits between month 2 and 3. So I was beating myself up a little bit about being behind, but I'm just going to do 1 block per month. So with there being 14 blocks, it's not going to be finished in a year, but that's okay. Shall I show you how I'm getting on with it? Let's pop that down. I've been a bit naughty this time. I haven't actually ironed anything, so things might be a little bit wrinkly, so if you can forgive that. And I'm going to get my little board so that I can, and I hope the sun, as beautiful as it is, I hope it doesn't cause us problems with looking at things. So as you can see, I completed the bonus block here and I'm stitching away here on the March block. So as I said, you can see there are 4 on this piece of linen already, but this is the bonus block and this is actually the March block. So that's coming along nicely, but you can tell from the pattern the house is a bit of a beast. There's quite a lot of stitching. It's quite, the whole of that house is sort of almost full coverage. Well, the whole of that house is full coverage. What I'm trying to explain not very well is that most of the block is pretty stitch intensive, but I am enjoying it. It's a nice relaxing stitch, and I thought I'd mix things up by popping in the little hair, the March hair. And I'm assuming this is the like a crock of gold, I'm assuming, for March, with the sort of St Patrick's Day influences there. So it's coming along really, really well, and I will be thrilled to get to the next row. I know I've got to finish March and then do the April block, but I will be really happy to get down to the next row so I can really see it taking shape. So as always, I'm stitching this on a 30 count legacy linen pecan shortbread I bought from Hoop and Frame online, and I know they have got a UK website as well as an international website, so you can pick this linen up there. And the threads are a combination of called for and DMC substitutions as and when, and I'm really pleased with the progress on this one. So let me pop that down. I'll just show you my threads. I just keep the ones, I've seen other people stitching it keep all their threads together. It actually is more manageable for me if I keep just the month that I'm working on a ring at any one time. So you can see I've got a couple of classic colourworks in here, and I've got quite a few DMC equivalents, or as close to that I could find. I sort of kitted this month's block mostly from Stash, so but it's working out. I used the colour photograph on the front of the chart as a reference point, and I'm happy with how it's going. So that is my big project, Anniversaries of the Heart, and that is my only, just pop that down there, that's my only whip that's sort of like in rotation that I've worked on since I spoke to you last. The other projects that I've been working on have been my Pocketful of Posies starts, and I shared with you what I was going to be stitching on in the separate little video that you can find a couple of videos back on this channel. I shared the kitted up projects, 4 in total, my fabric choices, threads and the charts. So I have made a start on 3 of them. One is still awaiting a start. So I'll go through those. Excuse me while I just grab my little board. And before we continue, in case anyone asks, this sweater that I'm wearing is actually a hand knit of mine, and this is the So Faded pattern or design by Andrea Mowry of Drea Renee Knits, and I'll just stand up so you can see, and it goes through from the pinks into the blues and then up here into the greys, and I just did a short sleeved version. So just in case anyone had any questions about that, you can find that pattern on her website and on Ravelry if you use it. And back to the stitching. So I will start off with, the first project I have here is Heartstring Samplery, Beth Twist, and it's the Forget Me Not, which I'm going to do as a little pillow. I've really enjoyed having my Easter 2-tiered tray in my new dining room and having that all decorated, but I think by the end of this week I'll need to remove Easter, and I'm hoping to get some of these floral projects done so that I can have a nice flowery sort of theme for the summer. So this is one of the charts that I've been working on, and let me just grab everything out of the bag. And I'm stitching this on a 36 count fabric, and it would appear that 36 count fabric and 1 strand of floss is my sweet spot. I really enjoy the look of my stitches and the actual process of stitching like that. If I can get that to stay on would be nice. You can see this fabric is quite heavily mottled and it is edging over into the darker section. I think once I get the greens on, I think the greens will really brighten it up a little bit. So this is a 36 count Seraphim fabric. It's called Dead Sea Scroll. Quite an apt name, I think, with that amount of mottling. And I'm using all the called for threads, and they're all Weeks Dye Works. I think I substituted the green. I think it called for endive, and I've put in, what have I got? Moss. So those are my threads. I hope it's not too shady that you can see. So I've been really enjoying stitching on that one. And do take time at the end of this video to have a look at the gallery of all the beautiful projects that you guys have been doing. There are some stunning, really stunning works in progress, and even a couple of finishes. The next one is another Beth Twist design. I should have got these out of the bags beforehand, shouldn't I? And a small start on this one. This one is all the flowers, all the pretty flowers I should say. Just trying to get the chart out of the bag. So that's that one, all the pretty flowers. And I wasn't too sure about this linen to start with. This is a Saju linen, it's a 32 count. It's very, very, I mentioned this before, if I hold it up, you can virtually see me through it. It's very, very gauzy and quite a loose weave. But I think if I make it into the pillow, as suggests on the front of the chart, I think if I put a little bit of lightweight interfacing behind it, a white interfacing, before I fill the pillow, I think it will be absolutely fine. This one I am stitching on, or with I should say, a mixture of threads, and I believe they're mostly the called for. I just went through what I had in my stash. Combination of Gentle Arts, Weeks and Classic Colourworks. So those are my threads, and it's coming along really, really nicely actually. I only started this one an evening or so ago and I'm really enjoying it. So that's my second pocket full of posies start. I'm making more mess here than I normally make, which is pretty impressive even for me. And so while I've got a messy pile, I might as well just keep going and just keep throwing it down there. The third one is living in my Liberty fabric bag that I made, and this is what I call my big girl stitching. This is a 38 count fabric, which is the highest count that I've stitched on so far, and so far so good. I have to report it is quite it's quite a pathetic start. So if I just get this straight on here, you can see it's a tiny start. And this is my Hands Across the Sea, Where Flowers Bloom. And there's the chart there. Just made a teeny tiny start. But I love this. And you'll see in the gallery, Liz, my lovely friend Liz from Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch, has made great progress on this, and hers looks absolutely beautiful. I'm using the Soie d'Alger silks. The pattern is written for the Overa Soie 103s, but they were a bit fine for the fabric I was using, so I've opted for these. Again, Liz helped me, advised me on the best thread choice for the count of fabric I'm using, and they're working out really well. I do find this a bit of a faff, the floss away bags, I must admit. As you can see, I'm used to using my thread on the thread drops and just, you know, pulling off one thread at a time, and I find that really nice. It works for me, it's an easy way to do it. So this is a little bit of a faff, and I think that's probably what's stopped me getting on with this as much as I should have done. And it's silly really, because it is such a beautiful stitch, and I just want to get more done on it, because as you can see, I've only done a tiny little bit of the top border, but the colours are absolutely beautiful and the threads are beautiful, so I will get a bit more stitching done on this one and share it with you for next time. So that's project 3. My final pocket full of posies stitch along project is another Hands Across the Sea, and it's the Where Violets. No, it's not Where Violets Bloom, it's Spring Violets. beautiful chart. I haven't actually made a start on this yet, but I just wanted to include it in this section. This I have got all kitted up, ready to go. I've got a 36 count Edinburgh linen in soft cream and all the called for DMC threads, which I think look absolutely beautiful. So I'm going to get a start on this one. I think I might start this one this afternoon and just get cracking on it. Quite a lot of colour changes in this one, but so pretty. Okay, shall we have a little look at the giveaway that I did on the last video? These were all charts that were sent to me very kindly and generously by Fat Quarter Shop, so thank you Kimberly and team. And we had 2 stitchy prizes and 2 quilty prizes. So I asked you to leave a comment below with the keywords and I'll announce the winners now. So the first one is the Santa Baby cross stitch chart, and the keyword was Santa, and the winner of this is Andy Otero, so congratulations Andy. The next is the Prim Stitch series Pleasant and Gentle chart, and that has been won by Susan Ashcraft, so congratulations Susan. The next is the Fascinating Facets quilt pattern, and this has been won by Verpi R, so congratulations Verpi R. And finally it's the Granita quilt pattern, and this has been won by Mel Patton, so congratulations Mel. I chose the winners using the random YouTube comment generator. I will have popped images up as I announce them, and basically if you don't know, you can search for the keyword and it will randomly go through all the comments that mention that word and randomly pick a winner. So if all of you lucky winners can contact me on the email address below and let me know your address, and I'll get your prizes sent out to you really soon. Thank you all for joining in on the giveaway. I've been watching a lot of Flosstube this week. Well, I do every week. But a new to me and new to Flosstube video I wanted to share with you this week is Laurie Wilson of Threadmilk Designs, and she put her first Flosstube video up a few days ago. So do go and check her out. Laurie has done a fantastic job on her first Flosstube. She's got some beautiful projects to share. She Threadmilk Design is her company, and she sells the most adorable floss drops made from vintage milk bottle tops, which are absolutely adorable, and she does all sorts of floss drop bling and occasionally project bags and things like that. But what I really liked about Laurie's video was she gives a lot of history of her sort of stitching and sewing journey, so it's a really enjoyable watch. So do go and check her out. I'll put a link in my description box below and you can go and follow Laurie and give her a big warm welcome to Flosstube. Another mention that I wanted to do was in relation to the Pocketful of Posies stitch along was Beth of Be More Creative. Beth has got a YouTube channel and I will pop a link for it down below, and Beth has done a free design for the Pocketful of Posies stitch along. I'm going to pop a picture of it here so you can see, and Beth explained in a recent video on her channel, which is very, very touching, that she'd actually designed the free design specifically because it's got the little bee and the little bobbins of thread with some stitching on top for Bumble for the bee and the stitches. So I thought that was really sweet and very thoughtful of you, Beth, so thank you so much, and thank you for sharing it with everybody so they can all download it. If you want to get access to the free pattern, you'll need to go to Beth's YouTube video that I will share down below, and you can get access to the freebie pattern there. So thank you, Beth, that was very, very sweet of you. I'm going to share a little bit of haul with you now. I don't have a huge amount of haul, which is a good thing because, as I mentioned on my last video, the haul situation and the stash situation is a little bit out of control and it's a work in progress. But I have got a couple of things to share with you. So let me just slide them along. What you can't see is that just out of shot here, I keep my ironing board quite low and everything for the Flosstube is all lined up in order along the ironing board. So I just sort of keep dragging things along. Okay, we spoke about anniversaries of the heart right at the beginning of this episode, and I'm getting ready and being prepared for the next couple of charts. So number 4 is Pink Hill Manor and number 5 is Farmhouse. So I went through and had a look at the floss requirements for these two, and a lot of the flosses do repeat throughout the series. There's lots of sort of basics, sort of staple colours that keep appearing month after month. So I went on to Peakside Needleworks, as I was saying, and got the next couple of months requirements of flosses, ones that I didn't have already. So you can see I've got some nice selection of plastic colourworks, some really beautiful sort of peachy and neutrals here, this lovely mulled berries, and then some nice neutral, typically sort of sampler colours from Gentle Arts there. So as I may or may, I got a little bit of an interruption there, but I may have mentioned that I got all these from Peakside Needleworks. So if you're in the UK, Sue has got a really good selection, and delivery is really, really quick too. So that's all ready for the next couple of months of Anniversaries of the Heart. I did get enabled by Deb and Liz of Country Stitchers. They've been sent a beautiful gift I watched on their last Flosstube episode, which were these gorgeous thread catchers. So you can see with the lovely pin cushion there, a little scissor area, and somewhere for your little bits and pieces from when you're sewing at the machine, or you know, you could just keep it on the arm of your sofa or your chair while you're cross stitching. And I thought it was really beautiful. It comes from an Etsy shop called Curry Bungalow, and she sells them ready-made, but you can also buy the PDF pattern. So that's what I did. I've got lots of fabric. I might do this in some Laurie Holt flea market. I just think it's so pretty. I particularly like the flower on the pin cushion. I thought it was a really nice idea. So yeah, I've got lots of fabric I can make it with. You can download the PDF. It's really quite reasonable, because I just yesterday sorted out my, I mentioned a while ago I was going to sort my craft room out a bit more. I'd ordered some furniture from IKEA and I was going to decorate the room first, get it all painted and that. Well, that hasn't happened, but I couldn't wait for the sewing table any longer, so yesterday I got that put up. I'll pop a little picture in here so you can see, but I feel much more organised now. I've got much more room to sort of sew and do my quilting. So now I've got my new table up. I think that will look really, really pretty. I think it'd also make a really nice gift as well. So yeah, it was lovely. But if you want to see the ones that Deb and Liz got, have a look on their last Flosstube video and you'll see them. They're absolutely beautiful. So that was one little purchase. And then really exciting mail came from Fat Quarter Shop. Something that I purchased myself. It wasn't a gift. And it's the first part of the Block of the Month Sew by Row quilt, designed by Laurie Holt. So this is the big fat package that arrived. I'll show you what's inside. I think the subsequent months will just be the fabrics for those months, but in this first instalment, you've got all these sort of notions and things that you're going to need. So the book, which has got the actual instructions in, and that's a better image of how the quilt will look at the end. I'm sure lots of you are familiar with this. Can't wait to get working on this one. So the book came with it. Of course, all the fabrics, which are in here. So that's for the background of the blocks. And the first block is the scissor block. So that's the first row that you do there. So you've got the grey here, which will be the steel of the scissors, and all the lovely colours will be the handles. So this is just beyond exciting. I'm really looking forward to getting stuck into this one. And the quilt is finished with buttons in quite a lot of areas. So there's lots of buttons. I think there's 6 packs of Laurie Holt buttons here, which just in itself is just eye candy, isn't it? Seeing all those lovely buttons. And they even include the DMC flosses, because there are a few areas on the finished quilt that are embroidered. I don't know if I can show you on here. So things like the little cords on the irons, I think the needle on the sewing machine, and possibly the pins on the pin cushion. So there's a few little bits of embroidery, and the buttons are used as the buttons on the sewing machine, on the intersection of the scissors. So isn't it lovely? I'm really excited to make a start on that and hope I can do it justice. So that was something that I'd not forgotten that I'd pre-ordered, but it just surprised me when it turned up, and it was a very nice surprise indeed. I have another couple of giveaways that I'd like to do today, and if I can find them. These patterns were sent to me by a lovely viewer over in the States. She wanted to remain anonymous, but she sent me a beautiful package of charts that she hasn't stitched. They're completely unstitched. I shared them a couple of videos back. So I'd like to do a giveaway. This time it's just for UK viewers only. I do apologise, I know that's not ideal, but I'm just going to try and alternate the accessibility to the giveaways every other video. So when I do the 7,000 subscriber giveaway next video, that will be open to everybody internationally, but just for today this is UK only. Okay, so the first, let's put these in twos. So the first prize that I want to do is this lovely chart by Jardin Privé, which is Sampler Printemps, spring sampler, very apt for this time of year. Beautiful. I think there might be somebody in the gallery for the Pocketful of Posies SAL that's stitching this. And the other one is Singing in the Rain, so I thought perfect for April showers. So those 2 charts form one prize, and the keyword that you need to quote in the comment is showers. So if you use the word showers to be eligible for this prize. And the other prize is going to be these 2 patterns here, and this one here is by Buttermilk Basin, and it's actually looks like wool felt applique for these 3 really cute little designs with the rabbit, the tulips and the butterfly. And this one is the Cottage of the Month from Country Cottage Needleworks, and it's the March Cottage. So I thought they were really sweet together. So if you want to enter for those charts, please use the word springtime. Now you need to be over 18 to enter, because I will need your postal address. Please be a subscriber and like the video, and please be in the UK just for this giveaway for this video today, and leave your comments down below. Okay, I'm going to move on now to my quilty section, which I know is not everybody's cup of tea. So if you're not joining me for the quilting, I'll say goodbye to you now. But if you want to see the Pocketful of Posies gallery, you might want to just fast forward past the quilting, and then you can have a look at the lovely gallery at the end of the video. I mentioned on my last episode in the quilty section that I was planning to use my Tilda fabric that I had set aside for an English paper piecing project even, and make a string block quilt and utilise the existing paper piecing in applique blocks, and combine the 2 and sort of get the stash used up and actually get a quilt up and running. And I've made a start. I'm really excited about it. So I started making some string blocks, and I've just popped 4 on my little design board here so you can get an idea. And I know the colours are a bit crazy, but I love it. I think it's really bright and cheery. It's super easy to sew because you don't have to worry about matching up any points. It's a bad example because I put these two yellows here. Let me switch that block out. I've got quite a pile. I've got about 26 made so far. So you can see they're all completely different. Just random, I just cut all the fabrics into 2.5 inch and 1.5 inch strips, and I just pull from the two baskets as I'm sewing and just randomly put them together just to keep it really nice and cheerful and try not to get any two blocks that are the same. So you get the gist of those. So let me just switch that yellow one out for another block. I'll just pop that one in there so we don't have all that yellow. So you get the idea, and I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with the string blocks. I bought some medium weight sewing interfacing that I'm using as the foundation here. A little bit of loose. Oh, that's difficult to do in reverse. So I'm just using that as the foundation. And really enjoying it, really enjoying it. And the plan is to intersperse these blocks with my applique blocks. And I've stitched one down. So I've stitched this one down. And I used the technique that Laurie Holt shows in some of her videos. I just cut the fabric to a square, the size I needed, and pressed it in half and then in half again, just to mark the halfway point so I could line the block up at these crease marks so I know that it's central. And I don't know if the camera can pick it up, I use sort of like a blanket stitch on my sewing machine to just applique it down. I've still got to put my needle through these threads and pull that through to the back so that it's nice and neat. But that's essentially how it's going to be. So it will be, and I think the setting I'm going to use will be 5 blocks, 5 blocks across and 5 blocks down, and there'll be about 14 inches each block. So it's going to make a sizable quilt, and I do have enough fabric to do that. And I will just pop these blocks in just randomly throughout the quilt, and just make it all as random and as colourful and cheery as I possibly can. So I will share progress with that. I've got quite a bit of interfacing left. I can probably make about another 30 blocks. I think I need to make 68 of these. So I might have to order a little bit more interfacing and then get joining them together and start getting a quilt made, which is very exciting because with Sew by Row arriving, I don't want to be drowning in a sea of quilt whips. So I think that is everything for today. I feel it's been a bit disjointed, so I apologise for that, but hopefully you've enjoyed it. And I'm going to leave you now with the Pocketful of Posies gallery. All the images are obviously copyright of the people that posted them. The ones that are emailed to me, I've just put the names on their photograph, and if they were from Instagram under the hashtag, I've left your username at the top of the photograph. So enjoy looking through that. Have a lovely couple of weeks, and I'll see you for another episode really soon. Take care. Bye.